He is a Pro Bowler. Philadelphia, of course, 12-1 in NFL best. They're at Chicago on Sunday. James Bradberry is back. He joins us once again. James, good to have you on. How are you?
Going pretty good. How about you?
Good, dude. Good. So much has happened since you and I spoke early in the season. Bring me up to date. How are you enjoying the Philly experience, and what's the vibe like on the league's best team right now?
We're 12-1, so I don't really have any complaints, honestly. And the vibe is all positive. We take one game at a time. So right now we're focused on Chicago. That's the only opponent that we're thinking about right now.
All right, so with that said, and I want you to know I heard what you just said. I know you're focused on only that opponent, but after Philadelphia put a beating on your former team, the Giants, and I know you're thinking Chicago, but your guy Darius Slay said, as only Slay can say, quote, "It felt good to whoop that ass here for my boy JB. We whooped that ass pretty good for him," end of quote. That's Darius Slay. Now, how much did it mean to you that they whooped that ass pretty good for you? And then how would you describe your bond with Big Play Slay?
It felt good to get the dub against the Giants. And, of course, we scored a lot of points, and the margin was pretty large, so it made it even better. And I would say me and Slay's relationship, I've always had respect for him and his game from afar, but actually being around him for, I guess you can say, since OTAs, I would say our relationship, we've gotten a lot closer as friends. We kind of like yin and yang. He does a lot of talking. He's very laid back. He's very funny. I'm funny in my own way. It's just different. So we complement each other well on and off the field.
James Bradberry joining us. I love that, actually. Now, it's been a long time since Philadelphia has seen the quality of cornerback play that you and Slay are providing this season. Would you make the argument that you two are the best tandem right now of corners in the game?
Yeah, in my opinion, I feel like we're the best tandem in the league, and I feel like the stats show that.
I feel like the stats show that too, but I just wanted to hear it from you. I think the stats absolutely show that. Listen, I got to be honest with you. When I'm looking at that team, when I first saw your coach, Nick Sirianni, James, I wasn't sure, and this from afar, but when I first saw him and heard him, I wasn't sure what to make of him, yet now he looks like he's got the look of the coach of the year. And I guess my only questions now would be, what's that dude like, and what's he like to play for and work for?
So, of course, when I first met Coach Nick Sirianni, he just seemed like a great guy. He cared about the players. He cared about our well-being and also our opinions as far as, how we handle business. Because at the end of the day, the players have to go out there and play. So I respect the fact that he takes a lot of pride, in allowing us to, make decisions, and be a part of the process. And on game day, he shows a different side. He's real fiery. And you don't really see that until Sunday, which I feel like is pretty cool. Just watching him on game day and seeing how he reacts to certain things.
James Bradberry is joining us. So if, in fact, he is the coach of the year, and he might be, if he's the coach of the year, who would get your vote for MVP if you had to vote today?
You definitely got to go. I would go with Jalen Hurts, my quarterback. I feel like he's played flawless, honestly. Of course, it's hard to play flawless, but, he's done everything the right way on and off the field.
All right, that makes sense to me. And again, statistically, that backs up. So where do you come out then on Micah Parsons seemingly downplaying Jalen's impact, saying that it's in part because of the system and the team? Some of your teammates didn't seem to like that at all. Did you take exception to what Parsons said?
Of course I heard it. But I ain't put too much energy into that because at the end of the day, quarterback is a really, really hard position to play, no matter if you got the receivers or not. And at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts is putting the ball on the money majority of the time. So, you still got to give credit where credit is due. And he's been playing his behind off. So I still got him in number one in the MVP vote for me.
James Bradberry joining us. Let me ask you this. Parsons was saying, hey, man, I didn't mean to start a bleep storm. That's his phrase. I didn't mean to start a bleep storm. And then he asked, what's the harm in talking a little smack? Is that the way you see that part of it, or did he cross the line into disrespect?
He's entitled to his own opinion. You can't stop somebody from having their own opinion. It's up to us if we allow it to, manifest and, play a role in how we prepare and stuff. But, we're not really saying his comments no mind. And then when it's time to go play the Cowboys, we're going to play the Cowboys. But right now, we got Chicago, so we ain't even worried about what he said.
Dude, I like that notion of manifesting stuff. Like, how important is that in your success? And in terms of manifestation, how do you use that? How do you work that into your process?
I think it's different things that I do as far as, like, I have a routine that I like to, like, go by each day and throughout the week. And also, watching film. I like to watch film. It kind of helps me visualize me playing the actual play. And also, just always making sure I speak positive words. I know speaking negatively, if you talk too down on yourself, that can manifest and it'll affect your play. So, I always try to have the utmost confidence when I'm going into the game. And that's at least starts off my preparation. And then once game day hits, I feel like I'm ready to go, just get my mind right.
Dude, I like that a lot. One more thought about that, and I don't want to get too far off the beaten path, but that whole point about, like, negative talk, if you talk to yourself the wrong way enough times, that starts to manifest too. Is there a strategy or a mechanism you have for cutting that off when that starts?
I think, anytime, of course, like, you're not going to play perfect on game day. Anytime you mess up or anytime you mess up or you do something that, you shouldn't have done, you got to move on to the next play. But you also got to analyze the situation and analyze what you did wrong so that you don't apply it the next time throughout the game. Because most of the time you make a mistake in the game, it's probably going to show up again because they're going to go back to that play. So you just put that memory spot in your memory and make sure you memorize it and you analyze it so you don't do it again.
James Bradberry joining us. I can appreciate that too. Listen, before I let you go, it's very clear. You let your play do your talking. Like, Slay will talk quite a bit, and then he'll back it up, and then you let your play do your talking. Like, you don't carry yourself outwardly like you're running on this crazy premium rocket fuel. But the fact is, when you get right down to it, the Giants did let you go. You are a free agent to be. So even if you're not talking about this, is it something you're carrying with you onto the field? And do you play with even more juice than you might ordinarily because of what's going on?
I think I carried it more so in the off season, when it first happened, and of course, coming in training camp and whatnot. But as the season went on, and I was playing well, and the team was playing well. Not to say that you just kind of forget about it, you let it go, but you just kind of focus on other things. I was playing well, so I knew I could still play. I felt like most people saw me getting released by the Giants, and they was like, "Oh, he can't play anymore. He's washed." But then, as I started showing that. My thought wasn't really to prove anybody wrong. It's really to make the most out of the opportunity and live in the moment, because we got a great team right now. And of course, we knew it was going to be really good, but we didn't. Nobody was really talking about us going like 12-1 or undefeated, like in OTAs or in training camp. So, my focus is on just making sure I'm ready for the playoffs when they get here, and also just taking 1 week at a time and building that momentum. So when we get to the playoffs, that we have that momentum carrying us throughout the playoffs.
You bet. James Bradberry, my guest. One last thought. So you're focused on Chicago. You're focused on the postseason. You're focused on this opportunity. I understand all that, but it's a business. You know this better than anybody because the fact of the matter is they did let you walk, and now everybody knows the kind of player that they let walk, and you're having arguably your best year. So sometimes you have the hammer and sometimes you don't. I think you're in a great position going forward. Can you project it all? Like, what type of situation might you be looking for once the opportunity comes up?
Like you said, it is business at the end of the day. It's going to be a lot of factors that play into that. Of course, the roster. Of course, the money aspect about it. And also the coaching staff and the overall personnel. So, it's a lot of different variables. It's kind of hard to tell you, how my situation is going to play out and, how I'm going to be thinking when that time comes. But I do know those 3 things are important to me, which I'm pretty sure they're important to every guy that goes into free agency. But those are probably going to be 3 things that I'm really thinking about and looking at.
I'll tell you what's important to me. It's important to me to have a conversation like that. I appreciate that relationship. I appreciate you coming back on for the second time during the season. I wanted to run you down once again because Philadelphia is 12-1. You're having a great year, and I knew it would be another great conversation. James, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you. Have a great week, and I hope we can do it again.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir, dude. Much respect. Much respect. James Bradberry. I like the way he handles himself on and off the field. A damn good player.